Hey everybody, I'm Father Gabriel, and today Father Aaron and I are going to be talking about our favorite season of the church's liturgical year.
Well, for me, I really enjoy the seasons that lead up to Christmas and Easter. Now, Christmas and Easter in of themselves are pretty fantastic feasts for us to be able to celebrate. And I probably, when I'm in those seasons, feel like they're my favorite ones. But there is something, knowing that I'm a person on earth who's always in preparation for heaven and divine life, that Advent and Lent tend to be pretty favorite times for myself. And I have a lot of great memories in Lenten seasons, preparing myself for Easter, by God's grace being prepared for Easter and that celebration. I find that in a world of great difficulty and suffering, to just simply only celebrate Christmas and Easter without appreciating the cross, appreciating that time of preparation that Jesus went through in order to be ready for his great sacrifice on the cross, especially when we celebrate Holy Thursday and Good Friday and Easter Vigil. Those are just some of my favorite times of the year.
And for me, I'm going to kind of mush together the Advent and Christmas seasons here, mostly because of the nostalgic childhood memories that I have of them. And part of the reason why those seasons are just forever burned in my heart as exciting and anticipative, sort of joyous days, I think is because of the way that my family lived them. We live them actually very similar to how the church sets forth as the recommendation for how to live them. Because the way that my parents celebrated the Advent and Christmas seasons really waited for the celebration of Christmas until Christmas Day itself. I mean, we wouldn't listen to Christmas music during the Advent season. We wouldn't put up our tree until Christmas Eve. Can you imagine? There's only one other family that I know of that actually does this. And I'm not going to drop any names here on the internet, but it's amazing. It was, right, on one hand, having all of my friends excited about Christmas and really kind of starting the celebration of Christmas the day after Thanksgiving was kind of a downer at first until I kind of got used to it. But then, once I was actually in the cycle, I started to appreciate, it actually helped me to keep my anticipation, that excitement for the joy that was coming at Christmas, alive. And then, we'd go to Mass and the music was different. And there was this kind of somberness, but not quite like Lent, but yet, a tonality that itself expressed the heart's movement toward preparing for the coming of the Messiah, which was so exciting. And the music of the liturgies and the prayers of the Mass themselves called to my attention the need that I had for preparing my heart for the birth of the God-man Jesus Christ. Then, the reason why I say it's both Advent and Christmas, on Christmas Eve night, we would put up the tree. And we didn't have a ton of decorations for Christmas, but we'd have the tree and the stockings, and then there were a few other things that we'd put up around the way too. And so we'd put them up on Christmas Eve, and then on Christmas Eve night, if we went to the Christmas Eve Mass, or on Christmas morning, we would do the first wave of gifts. And I say the first wave, you'll understand in a minute here. So what would happen is we had, I forget if it was at Thanksgiving or if it was before that even, we had exchanged names with one another. So I'd draw one of my brothers or sisters' names, and we get some kind of gift, or we make some kind of gift for them. If we buy it, then there's a strict budget, there used to be anyway, on the gift that we would potentially get. And we give that gift to our other person. So you find out that day who had your name, and you receive that gift. So then what happened is, for the rest of the days of the Christmas season, we would be looking to the stockings. Every morning you get up and there would be something, you pat down your stocking on the wall that had your name. Each one of these gigantic stockings These big red stockings had our names on them, and it would have something inside. And some of the kinds of things that my parents would put in those would be like cereal box with like Fruit Loops or Lucky Charms or Fruity Pebbles, or one of those really sweet candy sort of cereals that we almost never had when I was growing up. We had lots of like Rice Krispies and Corn Flakes and those sorts of things, but we didn't have these like super sugary cereals. So it was like a treat and a delight to get these. And there were a couple of other things like that. You might get some candy in there, you might get something, but there was something in the stocking every day of the Christmas season, which kind of allowed for that continuation of the anticipation of the season as we await the big day of gifts, which didn't come until, I want to say it was Epiphany, or it was basically the end of the Christmas season. That day, my parents would have like all kinds of gifts, everything ranging from underwear and stockings to, 1 year, after many, many years, we got BB guns. Oh man, Red Ryder lever action BB gun, 6mm steel BBs. So much fun. Or were they? Anyway, doesn't matter. It was one of those Red Ryder BB guns, and it was so exciting. And the anticipation was kept alive not only through the Advent season by not kind of celebrating Christmas right after Thanksgiving, but it was kept alive throughout the Christmas season, so that on that last day when we start taking down the trees right after that day, we take down our decorations and stuff and put it all away for another year. It was so exciting, like all the way through it. So anyway, that is what I love about the way that my family had celebrated the Advent and Christmas seasons when I was younger and growing up. It was just a really beautiful way of maintaining that anticipation, that excitement for that season. But, I'm sorry, there was another part of it too. My family got involved in both serving and in the choir when I was younger as well. So our youth choir was just beautiful. We had a lot of very gifted and talented people in the youth choir, and that I got to be part of it, that we all got to be part of it. Just Christmas was so beautiful. We had such a beautiful liturgy. Sometimes I'd serve at the Mass, sometimes I'd be up in the choir, but it was just so beautiful regardless. The prayers of the Mass for these joyous days and the liturgies at the Mass is just fills my heart with joy. And then you go home in anticipation of the tree getting set up and everything else. Oh, it's just amazing. So much fun. And I completely forgot to mention that we actually would celebrate at the beginning of December also St. Nicholas Day. So like at one point, there's a knocking on the door and we run out and there's no one at the door, but there's a basket sitting down on the deck filled with, you guessed it, bags of candy from Mills Fleet Farm. Because St. Nicholas goes shopping at Mills Fleet Farm. But we didn't really have the Santa Claus tradition. We had the St. Nicholas tradition when I was growing up. And it was just another beautiful, anticipation. And one of the ways that my parents kept that anticipation alive is by having some mysterious ringing of the bell while we were kiddos growing up. And I never actually figured out who it was or how they did that, but it doesn't matter anymore, I guess.
Well, what's your favorite time of the year? That's a good question that we should ask of ourselves. When we are living in the mystery of God's grace day to day to day, where does God call us to live and follow him? And what season stands out to you in your faith? Thanks for watching. Please keep praying for me. I'm praying for you. And let's help one another on this journey to heaven. God bless you.